As for you, what is the future of sales like in India after 5 years?
Future of sales. I think again, I think it's what makes the difference is the understanding of human behavior. I think I don't know. I think people are have talked about it, but my personal observation, specifically from the pandemic onwards, when you're not sitting in front, because you can actually, through hand gestures and other things, you can still find out my body language. But I think now, what to say when and how to say it and how to quickly read it, uh, that will make a huge difference now. If I can say what you want to listen, you will be happy, and 50% of my job is done. So when I say I'm making you listen, and also I've seen the sales cycle going to sort of shrink a lot.
Mhm.
Uh, so I think that again the main difference is the human behavior. A lot needs to be sort of discussed. A lot need to be discussed there.
And I also feel, even buyers are getting aware now. They know
Mm.
what we this people is trying to sell and what benefits going to happen. So the more focus is not on the commodity, it's all into, like kind of, it's just come on the place where the buyer wanted to know the what exactly I can get on table. That is also there.
Absolutely, absolutely. They are aware. They
Yeah,
know. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, Mukul, would you like to know, sorry, would you like to share more about the playbook which you're working on, the guide, the sales guide which you are, trying to build?
So yeah, this sales guide is actually again it stems from the fact that when I started off, it took me for example, asking the right question, reading, spontaneity, uh, how to customize the pitch, uh, what how you should pitch when you're meeting in person, how you pitch when you're talking on the phone, when you're having a meeting online. I've learned it over a course of 9 years. So I would want to create a playbook that will help people who are starting on this journey.
Hmm.
It's like
Nice.
9 years of experience in 9 minutes that will help them to accelerate much faster. So it can be a playbook, it can be a framework, it can be a short program maybe. But yeah, so this is the gap that I feel that is there. If that can be covered, I think nothing like it. And yeah, this is what I'm looking at.
Mukul, what you do when you feel disappointed, like sales full of disappointment, right? We know we face
Yeah,
every day.
yeah, yeah,
So what you do to cheer you up? Because you are in this industry from last 9 years. It's kind of 1 decade, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. No, yeah. I think very good question again. I think at the same time you need to be self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
you know Self-aware that what makes me happy. So for example, earlier, I did not know, and again it's a self-discovery at be it a professional front or a personal front. So I found out that exercise helps me a lot. They say, and I actually live by quote, that uh, it never happens, it's almost guaranteed that
Mm-hmm.
you will feel good after exercise. You will definitely feel better. So that's the motivation for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this keeps me going, that and because you have gone through a bit of an experience, it's a cycle. It's not a straight
Right.
line. It always go up and down, but you be on a treadmill. Keep running. Just have
Right.
that. You, as you mentioned the other day, be consistent. So be consistent with your effort. If you have a system in place, so for example, if your sales process involved that these many customers I have to meet every day, or you have your plan for a month or a year or weekly wise, keep following that, because that's giving you the result. So keep the thing on the treadmill and keep putting your effort.
So, Mukul, one more thing I would definitely like to know. You mentioned that you have to be self-aware, right? But there are phases where we, think that are we going to do, like, are we doing correct things? Are we, moving in a right direction? So if you recall any event in that phase where you are like कि नहीं यार अब नहीं करना है ऐसे सब तो move करना है life है, तो if you can share that moment.
Yeah, it happened because I left this organization where I was performing really well, and I
Mhm.
had won quite a few awards, and I joined in, and it's just a great leveler, uh, and I was not performing up to the mark, and I was doing exactly the same thing, but somehow the result were not in my favor. So you
Mhm.
start to question yourself because you're seeing that you are the only member in the team who's not, going up to the mark. So I did have questions because I think this is where the team managers and people within the company, uh, their suggestion, it matters a lot. So I was told that, okay, Mukul, be on the treadmill. It's okay.
Right.
Everyone is like just keep your focus on doing what you're doing, because at times, because results are not in your favor, but yeah, keep meeting the keep doing what you're doing. Don't let your disappointment reflect there. Keep, push a little hard. I know it's tough, but you know keep it there, and once you start working, then you realize, okay, yeah, I think this is it, this is the learning. You have to be persistent with that. Don't bog down. So yeah, so
Right.
this
So
is
you
actually.
mentioned, Mukul, you mentioned very, very correct point. Most of the time it's happening is that we are doing similar things. We are calling similar numbers, like calling 10 of 15 people in a day, sending mails, reaching out to people, but no numbers are not coming, right? So why this happen? Why?
I mean, I don't know. At times, I can't pinpoint to one reason, uh, but yeah, maybe at times then you need to look back where things are going wrong. Probably change it. So it was mentioned in Tim Ferriss' book. I was reading that what he used to do. So normally the sales guy would follow 9:30 to 6:30. So he said,
Mhm.
let me do an experiment. Let me call 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, just the opposite, and let's see what happens. So try to sort of change your strategy a bit. Let's see how it works, because it happens when things are working. You don't sort of touch it. You don't, of course you should not. But if things are not happening, probably, so if you're meeting 10 customer, try meeting 20. If you're pitching it, if you're just meeting a senior manager, probably meet somebody higher up. So look in your homework and try to see what I'm doing, what can I do differently here. So yeah,
I would
this.
also like to know what I have observed with me. So sales is all about enthusiasm and how enthusiastic that salesperson is, right? So what
Yeah.
happened with me when I'm doing similar things, I
Mhm.
get kind of, bored. Like this is a monotonous job. I have to make 5 calls, 10 calls, and similar, blah blah blah. And then my
Yeah, yeah.
enthusiasm goes down. And then when I'm talking to people, numbers are not
Uh-huh.
going high, right? So this is what
Uh-huh.
happened. And when, as you mentioned, when I try something new, different timeline, different time zone or something, that
Uh-huh.
enthusiasm comes in and then numbers comes in, right? So
Comes in.
this
Yeah, yeah.
this happened. This worked.
Yeah, yeah. It challenges you also, that you feel internally that you're doing something different. Yeah. Yeah. So
Right.
I think it's from the Tim Ferriss book that I found this out. Yeah. I'm sure you know what, and this is where the questions have great powers. I'm sure you have read that if you have a target, if you have a target that I'm going to achieve this goal in 6 months, what can I do, so that I can achieve this target in next 1 month? You
Right.
have 6 months, what can I do now? You will start thinking differently. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, this new, and then this comes from reading. You're reading it differently than sort of, you don't know what hits you, what inspires you. See, it is makes a difference. Yeah.
Right. How you inspire other salespeople? I find it very difficult. The motivation which I have, how motivated I am, I hardly find someone who is that kind of motivated. And that's why there are very few leaders in sales who are that much motivated, and they are giving correct guidance to other salespeople. So how you motivate your teammates or other salespeople?
Well, for first, I always try to connect at a personal level. I think if you ask me what is the differentiator for me, it's connecting at a personal level also. That treating that he's not an employee and he's not a client, he's also a human being.
Mhm.
So
Right.
connecting, because you never know what's going on in their life, and if you can connect at a personal level, and if you try to give your what how you understand and listen more, uh, it makes a difference there also. Connecting people
Right.
at a personal level, if I can answer it in one line, it really helps a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
One last question. We are end of our this session. So, how anyone can improve the numbers while working in sales,
Improve the numbers.
like the performance which they are giving,
Well,
the sales numbers.
I mean, it start from so like I said, so apart from the fact, the sense of ownership and other things, there are other things which are very important: the product knowledge and how well you understand your geography. You should be able to do the math that, if I'm reverse calculation, if this is my target, uh, in order to achieve this target, how many meeting I should do, how many proposals should I send? Because if you typically, we say it in normal jargon, if you have sent 10 proposal, one will get accepted. But what if
Right.
your target is 10 proposal that you have to close? So probably you have to send probably 150 to 100 proposals. So that math is very important, and don't depend. The bigger the funnel is, because at times you are very confident that this is going to get closed, it does not happen. Last
Mhm.
minute something happens and you're not able to win that. So you should have that backup plan also, that uh, अगर ये 10 नहीं होते हैं, do I have a backup? You know, that's one part of it. Second is, I've seen utmost clarity that, okay, this is the product, these are the top 10 companies that I'm going to target, which will help me to achieve this revenue. Now this is my universe, I will not go out of it, but I make sure that I map all the decision maker. I would have mapped. I have met all of it, and of course, I'm assuming that the product knowledge is already there. So again, I think the fifth point I would mention, focus is very important. You know, so if you have, like I said again, you have 10 companies that you have shortlisted, and these are top 10 companies. You're not going out of it. थोड़ा time लग रहा है, but I'm sure इसी में से ही I'll be able to win businesses. That is also important, because at times, because I have done it also, that you feel demotivated. You like, yeah, chalo, let me add 10 more. I have not given my 100% there, but I'm moving ahead, thinking that,
Right.
okay, this will be result. So that that analysis is also very important, and the focus is also very important.
Very, very, like correct point you have mentioned, and this is what I also do to increase my numbers. Thank you for sharing all these things, Mukul. Thank you
No,
so
thank you so
much.
much. Thank you so much. It's I've learned a lot from you also. Thank you so much for spending your time. It's lovely connecting with you. And probably we are talking about creating a framework, you know, creating a health guide, I would say. Let's see how it pans out.
Yeah, definitely. And anyone who wanted to have a conversation with Mukul, please go reach out to his LinkedIn profile. He will definitely going to answer your queries. And yes, very soon Mukul will launch a help guide for the salespeople. And
Yeah,
then we will again do a video like
correct.
this, and we'll talk more about that.
100%, 100%. Thank you so much, Pratik.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.